Christian.
And I'm Melissa.
And welcome to this week's edition of I Need That. Today we are going to talk about Clean Eating 101. Some Team Trio members had asked for a video on basically the breakdown of what clean eating is. So we're going to take it step by step and go over some simple rules to clean eating. Eating whole foods. That means straight from the farm, things like grass-fed, free-range meats, fruits, vegetables, seeds, unsalted nuts, whole grains, anything fresh from the farm. So that's eating whole foods. That's your first thing to remember.
The second tip is to avoid processed food. It's gonna have a label, which I mean most things you buy have a label, but you want to check your ingredients and avoid ingredients that are difficult to pronounce or read, and that's kind of a good rule of thumb to follow when you're looking for foods that are not processed, or I mean sometimes you can do like minimally processed. The key is kind of starting a little at a time, and you don't have to trash your whole pantry and go to the store and buy all of these organic and expensive foods. Just start a little bit at a time and just follow these tips to get you started.
It took us probably 3 months to eliminate, for the most part, everything. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
And one of the things that you need to remember is to shop the perimeter of the grocery store. That's where your free-range, grass-fed meat will be, and your vegetables, and your fruits, and your nuts, and your seeds from the first tip that we gave you. Your things with labels are going to be in the middle of the store, in the middle of the grocery store. So, number 2, avoid processed foods.
Okay, Team Trio. The next tip is to cook your own meals. One of my favorites because I love to cook, and not so much, but you really can control the ingredients and the quality of the food that you eat when you're doing it at home. And one of the things that I found helpful with cooking is to do a lot of prep work on Sunday. It works out for me. You may have a different day that is more suited to your schedule. Sunday afternoons are a good day for me to get a lot of things prepped for the week ahead, and I try to make things that have multi-purposes. For example, I'll make a spaghetti sauce or tomato sauce of some sorts that is organic and clean, and then I can use it in various applications. Maybe we can have it with a whole grain or a whole wheat brown rice pasta later in the week, or
we might put it on portobello mushrooms and have some sort of like pizza dish.
Toss it with spaghetti squash that I roast. Sometimes I make a casserole with ground turkey and peppers that I put it in.
She uses it 100 different ways,
and it works well in those applications. So that's a big time saver because you can take one thing that can be used for lots. And so if I've got stuff that's been marinating, maybe some chicken thighs that I got from Food Line, the Nature's Place that we like so much, then I'll grill those on Sunday. And just try to get as much done either ahead of time or cooking that I can go ahead and do for the week ahead, so that when it comes time for dinner and it's Monday night, or we've had to go to church for this, or we've had to go there for that, and it's 7, we're not in a pickle to cook a whole meal because most of the prep work is already done. So that is something I've found very helpful.
So tip number 3, or rule number 3, is to eliminate refined sugar. And to find substitutes for sugar, We were using agave, and then we just found out that agave is not the best substitute. And so we use things like,
We use honey. We use maple syrup, which is surprising, I would think, to a lot of people. But if you get organic maple syrup, it actually doesn't taste like pancake syrup or anything. It's actually just it's kind of, it doesn't really have a taste to me, actually. I don't know. Christian doesn't use it, but what you have tasted, I mean,
it doesn't taste like pancakes.
so, I mean, I use it in my coffee now because of the whole agave issue, which broke my heart because that's what I was using. It's actually an article I think that Dr. Oz put out, and I don't really watch the show, but I've seen it here and there, and he was using it himself, and apparently it's not as good as a substitute.
And the Gracious Pantry
Uh-huh.
is who we found out through, and which is a Facebook page that we follow and a website that we use, who is a woman that's a clean eater, and Melissa gets a lot of recipes from her. So that's how we found out about the agave thing. This has been one of the hardest things for me because I love Splenda. I drink iced coffee, and that is the hardest thing, is finding something that goes into a iced drink that tastes good to me. So I have not 100% let go of that. But as far as cooking, honey and things like that, Melissa has done wonderful with.
I use evaporated cane juice, which can be found at Harris Teeter. And
Coconut palm.
You can use coconut palm sugar. Those are all good substitutes.
So number 4 is to eat 5 or 6 small meals a day. And Melissa and I both do this. She takes, I say they're snacks, but I eat like 2 snacks at a time. So it's basically like a small meal. I pack snacks with me to take to work every day, and at 10 o'clock, faithfully, I eat a snack every day, and usually around 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, after I'm free again to do so, I'll eat another snack. And I know that Melissa does the same at work. This helps to keep your metabolism revved up. I'm not as hungry, so when it comes to lunchtime, I'm not starving, and when it comes to supper time, I'm not starving. And so, I mean, there are days that I'm still hungry, you know, just like any other day. I mean, and any other lifestyle that you lead. I mean, there's sometimes I'm like really hungry for something, but I'm not half as hungry as I used to be, because I am really good about taking a snack and being faithful about that every day.
Yeah, and you want to choose good snacks. Christian takes nuts, like almonds, and she'll take almond butter and just eat a spoonful of it as a snack. I like to take fruit, like an apple or an orange, and I also like to take fresh veggies if they're in season, carrots or something crunchy, kind of helps satiate, a craving for a chip or something like that. So those are things that have helped me, and maybe you could try them too, and they'll work for you too.
Alright, so the last thing that we wanted to tell you about is to make sure that you're combining protein with carbs. And in a little bit, we're going to show you a meal that Melissa prepared for a friend of ours that was coming over tonight. We're getting excited about hopefully the weather changing and staying nice. So we make sure that we try to get a lot of protein in with our meals. And one of the ways I try to do that is by eating almond butter and quinoa and I'll eat a lot of nuts, like Melissa said. And I just want to say that I have diverticulitis, and one of the things that I have done with the whole clean eating is this was definitely a lifestyle change for me. It wasn't, well, just to lose weight. When we watched a documentary on it, they talked about how it was good for your body. And since then, I mean, I wasn't supposed to eat nuts because of my diverticulitis. And since I've been eating clean, I don't have flare-ups anymore with it. So I eat nuts in moderation, and it's okay. Can you think of other things to eat?
Well, edamame is a good snack, and it's got a lot of protein in it. And actually, we had it as a kind of an appetizer, a little snack before dinner tonight. Sometimes if I'm cooking something on the grill and it takes a little longer, I'll have something like that to kind of, so people don't get too restless waiting for dinner. But I'll show you that in a little bit. But yeah, edamame is a good one. There's lots of different ways that you can pull in protein that you may not have gotten otherwise. And the quinoa is a really good example. I'm glad you mentioned that, honey. Okay, Team Trio, you've got everything that you need now to start clean eating. Just remember, gradually introduce things in. Remember these rules when you're in the grocery store, when you're planning your shopping list, when you're planning your meals. And just start gradually. You can make these little changes that will eventually add up to big changes.
And just remember, guys, that we do this like 85%. We don't know anybody that does this 100% of the time. They would be crazy. And you know, we don't beat ourselves up about the cheat meal that we do once a week. We enjoy it, and we eat some old nasty southern food, or you know, we enjoy it, we do it, and then go back to the clean eating. And so
if you have a bad day and something goes awry and you eat something crazy that you know you shouldn't have, it's not wrecked your whole week. It just wrecked that meal. So start over the next meal. Start over the next day, whatever the case is. But don't just kick it to the curb because you blow it one time. I blow it a lot.
This is our lifestyle, and it's not a diet. But we are humans, and there are some times that I just really need a chocolate Snickers bar or a Reese egg or whatever. And so, you know, don't drive yourself insane, you know. So, but we hope that these things will get you started, and if you do it, it does help. It really does. And you will feel better about yourself, and your body will feel better. And if you have any questions, let us know what you want us to talk about, and some other things that you
special episode.
And the big winner is getting ready to be on an episode with us.
Yeah, the 30-day picture challenge for March.
So
we're excited about that.
We will see you next time on that episode. So for now, I'm Christian.
And I'm Melissa.
And we'll see you on that episode of I'd Eat That.